in the event that you missed it. The news today announced that Melly will have a second bond hearing for his retrial on July 9th, which means he will have another chance to secure a release, according to the most recent filing. Since Melly had the best chance of being released, Jamie King, Melly's mother, gave the information.
We just still praying. I know I said I would give, I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know right now we're waiting. So basically the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute, or it could come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Oh, Tessa, stop. I've been crying too. It's been a long time coming, you know.
Then the prosecutors did something disturbing. A no communication order has been filed in the Melly trial, making Melly and Bortland totally separate, according to reports. Speaking quietly, without using legalese. Prosecutors are encouraging him to come forward by trying to get Melly and Bortland the next trial.
Here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It's just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found.
If Bortland knows he didn't commit this serious crime, he won't be able to sit there and take life in prison to the chin. Thus, it's likely he will accuse him and blame Melly. But they're even pressuring his ex-girlfriend to turn against him because she left the nation following Melly's first because she did not show up for her scheduled testimony against him. The police sought her.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
Because Mariah and the judge decided that she would appear to testify in court in exchange for her freedom. Thank you to my village. I love you all so much, Melly wrote on Facebook shortly after her most recent trial. God's purpose, not my own, according to data in during the first trial. When Melly was charged with witness tampering, Mariah was unable to testify due to her iCloud account, which is linked to Melly, can sentence him to life in prison, even if Melly took juvie and Sackhazer out.
State filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
Melly allegedly observed tampering on the jail phones, which has nothing to do with his mother. Adds that she thinks it's unjust that he has been permitted to use them for a year.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
But if it turns out that Melly used cell phones to sabotage witnesses, Bortland will act, which is why they haven't allowed him to. The prosecution wants Bortland to hold Melly accountable for the crime, which Melly tried to accomplish at the first trial. Thus, Melly will be given a life sentence.
Those were his lives. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar, You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
They revealed that Bortland was the last person seen with a pistol, had gun residue on his hands, and had lied to federal investigators. To talk about the gun residue on Bortland's hands, Juvie and Sackhazer even brought in an investigator.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of shot residue and two component particles. And the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of shot residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was shot residue present on the hands.
Mind games don't work on people like me. Hans Bortland wrote after Melly's case ended in a mistrial because he hated this. Along with, according to new reports, Melly's lawyers construct their best bond package to give to the judge after he makes a handshake emoji as if he's accepting a settlement. Recommended posting an unknown bond that would be paid for by 300 Entertainment, his record label. They assured the judge that, if permitted, Melly would be put under home arrest, have an ankle monitor, and hire guards around the clock to watch him. It felt so good that the rapper, that boy Melly coming home, I feel it was inspired. Considering the knowledge they possess that Melly is not receiving humane treatment while incarcerated, which is illegal.
You saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
They even brought out GPS data that shows Kelly ran away from the crime scene and sought safety in a bush down the road.
That would be the part where he's saying that someone just shot the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, there's some. I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
Additionally, to bolster the claims of a drive even further, they discussed how they said that the passing car would have stolen it and driven away, but they didn't even find a gun.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what was used.
Okay.
The scary aspect, though, is that if Bortland sits next to Melly during the trial, they can use Portland's questions from the night of the crime, in which he lies to the police to hide information for Melly.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Man, I was playing music, getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy, almost home, you know what I'm saying? And like, just out of nowhere, like, I just heard, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car, and I almost crashed.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75.
Expressway. Yeah.
Then you took 75 south.
Officers are aware that Portland's story is false. No matter how hard Bortland tried to keep his credibility intact, he would be caught for lying.
Here's the hard part where we're having a hard time to understand, is that we shut down that entire area and we had officers shoulder to shoulder, walk it out. They didn't find as much as one shell casing. They didn't find one piece of glass. Nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's the glass.
I mean, for whatever reason, your two friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These my like,
these your two, I'm assuming close friends.
Yeah, we got.
And you're doing them an inservice by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. I don't like. How? What do you want?
How do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
But as the interrogation went on, Bortland grew agitated because the officers didn't accept his version of events.
I told y'all the story, and that's it, bro. I don't even talk about it anymore. Like, cause I told y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Okay, just so you know, all right, because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. There's, and we're not trying to piss you off. The thing is, we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, the easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
How was the driving to Bortland? When Bortland tries to halt the interrogation, the officer restarts the conversation by asking, did he crash into anything? And
I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about some shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here from when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now, there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
The officer said, bluntly, as the interrogation period was nearing an end, would you tell me who did this?
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS, okay? And a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay? You may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of it. I wouldn't want to be.
Bortland shook his head no instead of giving a definitive yes or no so as not to make his voice crack and tell the policeman he was lying. The fact that Melly confessed to the crime in a text message hours after it occurred would be a blatant indication to the police that Bortland is lying. But when you combine this with concrete proof, the truth emerges.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
A video that was saved on his phone shows Melly and Bortland smiling just hours after Sack Hazer and Jovi died.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned. Regardless of what happened, you already know.
And however, a former O-Block member revealed the reason behind the crime, revealing that Melly...
Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walter Bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?